thank the Lord again. And by the time you open your mouth and begin to thank the Lord, even in the midst of your sorrows and your lack and your disadvantage, you see another mystery you cannot be able to understand. Why? Because there is strength hidden in the weakness of men, which is only revealed through thanksgiving. Oftentimes, in the days of your weakness, all what you may be able to do is just to thank the Lord, knowing fully well that He has done it before, He can do it again. Thanksgiving brings you to an understanding that if God can do it yesterday, if He has done it before, He can also do it now. When Jehoshaphat came to a point in the book of Ezekiel Chronicles, he began to say, "Oh God of our fathers, you did this, you did that, you did this. I am thankful for what you have done, but can you do it again?" In the midst of thanksgiving, the man can legislate with God. So Jesus Christ stood and He said, "Father, I know that if I call upon you, you will answer." But he began to thank the Lord. He is trying to let the Lord know that I know you are supreme over all. But here is the situation. This situation is making you look like a liar. And because he has already exalted the Lord has no other option than to act. I studied the Jewish custom that in me and Solo. Every time before they pray, they must bless the Lord. I don't know what. Before any Jews pray, he was first of all bless the Lord. Even if you are in the midst of dying, you must first of all, there is a blessing and there must be a thankfulness you release for God first before you can demand anything. It's just like standing before a king and you begin to demand without first of all thanking him for what he has done. Your neck will be cut off if you are not careful. Anytime you approach a great man, it's not to just ask him for something. No, appreciate him for what he has done before. In fact, appreciate him for allowing you to stand in his presence first before you can ask, "Oh king, can you now do me this?" Many of you do not understand that God is also like a king. And anytime you stand before God, you just come with tongues. Appreciate him first. Let your heart carry a posture of thanksgiving. And by the heart is carrying that posture of thanksgiving, then you come with a request. He will hearken unto it. Why? Because he knew that you are actually doing this, knowing fully well with a revelation that is faithful. Because thanksgiving makes you believe that God is faithful. Because a man that will not thank the Lord believes that God is not faithful. If God is faithful in your life, you must appreciate him at least for something, at least for the gift of life. As we come in this new year, we have come to appreciate God first of all, that all of us are still safe, and all of us are still alive, and all of us are still strong. That you wake up early in the morning, that you wake up early in the morning and your leg can still walk. You must be grateful to God for that. You may not have a need to thank God for everything, but there are still things that you ought to thank God for. And oftentimes you don't see the need to thank the Lord until something terrible happens. Have you been in a car accident and everybody died, and you wake up and discover that you're the only one surviving? Nobody needs to tell you to thank God. You thank him, because you need a good reason to thank the Lord. Peradventure, you were traveling, the tire of the car broke, and suddenly the car did not tumble. You see, naturally you will thank the Lord. Peradventure, you are on the road, a car came and hit you. The natural tendency is that when a car hits you, it should take you up, bring you down, your legs should break, in fact you should even die. But suddenly when the car come and hit you, you went up and you came down and you stood. Nobody will tell you to thank God. You will thank him. But why did you now thank him? It's because a revelation is fashioned upon it. In the same way that you must be able to understand that there are many things that is done to your life right now that you have never been able to understand. You must be grateful to the Lord enough, knowing fully well that he is the one that has preserved you all through this time. It may not be by your prayer sometimes. It may not be by your fasting sometimes. It may not be by your giving sometimes. Because sometimes the common denominator might have been something that everybody applied. Yes, some people failed. And that is why you must come to a point where you boast of nothing, knowing fully well that it's God that giveth it all. When men are thankful to God, it's because they knew that what they had is not by their own accord, that by strength shall no man prevail, but by the help of the Lord. What is going on in your life right now? If you feel you are self-sufficient, you will not see the need to thank the Lord. The Bible says in all circumstances, that you should give thanks unto the Lord. It then means that it doesn't matter whether you have applied and rejected you. It doesn't matter whether there was a carryover. It doesn't matter whether something happened. If you can give thanks to the Lord, you will see another strength of God that your prayer could not have done. What I'm trying to let you understand is that there are things that thanksgiving can do that prayer may not be able to do. Why? Because thanksgiving is another form of prayer that we neglect. Many times we complain, my son is a smoker, my son is a drunkard, my father is a bad man, my mother is a... Have you ever thanked the Lord for their life? You have never. Have you ever waken up before and begin to appreciate God for the gift of you being alive? That being born into your family is not a disadvantage but an advantage. The reason why you have not seen the need to do that is the reason why the family remain like that sometimes. Add up to your prayer thanksgiving according to scripture. As we begin this new year, please begin it with gratefulness and rejoice and merriment in your heart. There must be a certain level of happiness and gladness in your heart that God is faithful. And it doesn't matter what the devil tries to do in your life right now, God is still faithful. In your life, you have solved 99.5 of your problem. Because the best among the prayer warriors sometimes we think as though God is against you. Sometimes the most holiest of us we still think that God is against her. So she will feel, I'm too holy and yet the husband is not there. I'm too holy and yet I can't get the admission. I refuse to compromise yet I could not pass. What you are lacking is not that you are not praying, but you have not seen the need to thank the Lord in that situation. So you see God and you say God is not faithful. Men that thank the Lord are wise men, knowing fully well that in the mystery of thanksgiving is multiplication of what we can never imagine. Let me tell you the truth. Whether you like it or not, if you have not judged God faithful in your life, no matter what you do will never be enough. If you have 10 million naira, you want 30. And as far as you are concerned, if you don't have 30 million, God is not faithful. If you not get 30 million, you want 50 million. As far as you are concerned, if you don't have 50, you say God is not faithful. So no matter what God do to you, as an ungrateful person, you will believe that God is not faithful. And that is one of the weapons the devil is going to use to ensure that he discredits God in the life of man. That when you look at your situation, you compare yourself with an unbeliever and judge God not faithful. And you say God is not worthy of your devotion. Thanksgiving will create a benchmark for you and secure you in the placement of God so that your life can be preserved. Then, when God looked at that, he knew that you are not looking by sight. No. God knows that even in the midst of what you cannot understand, you are grateful to him that he multiply the possibility in your life. I know you trusted the Lord for the gift to see, the gift to hear, the gift to teach. It did not come. Can you thank the Lord at least for still being a Christian?